Frankly, it's the first time many of us have actually grappled with a global recession. You had read about it, you had studied it, but we had never experienced it. And that in itself is, it was unnerving and it was challenging. And what most of us didn't realize when it started is that it presents many opportunities. And it's not about getting hassled or bothered about it. It's about addressing it. It's an opportunity to reduce costs. It's an opportunity to acquire cheap. It's an opportunity to get capital costs down. It's an opportunity to get revenue costs down. And it generally becomes a moment to reboot your organization, to make it a lot more efficient, to make it a lot trimmer. Events force you to do it. But then a year down the road, you're much happier for it.
Okay. True. Okay. To put it in the perspective of a cricket lover, will it be fair to say that now the pitch is set, we have the right captain and we have the right team members for the Team India to go ahead and win the T20 World Cup?
Well, I think India is, to my mind, absolutely poised for it. There is no reason why we should not. I think it's like Australia and India. It's China and India. And like India's moment in cricket has come, we believe India's moment in economics will also come.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you handle businesses which are really linked to the economy, the energy, the retail, and businesses like KSE, Carbon. So, what is your take on Indian economy? What in your view is a sustainable growth rate? And how do you think, sectors such as power, which have been really rosy for years, will eventually pick up over a period of time?
If economists are economists and they will have different views. But frankly, if you're looking at GDP growth, 6.5% to 7% is probably the worst case growth that you're looking at now. And chances are you could be seeing it, slightly higher rates of growth. But having said that, the power sector specifically, I think will grow at rates which are much faster than that. Demand is growing very fast, and capacity addition is not actually able to keep up pace with that demand growth. And you will see probably anywhere from 20 to 30% growth in the power sector. And it may not be each year, but if you take a 5-year horizon, you'll probably see a doubling of power capacity.
Okay. So, particularly in context of CESC, it's one of the best managed utilities.
Yes.
Investors have no complaints holding on to CESC.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, when do they see, CESC going outside borders of Calcutta?
Yes. Okay. We've actually gone outside Calcutta. We were a Calcutta-based company and a Calcutta-centric company, but we now have projects in Maharashtra which we've got to financial close on. We've got projects in Jharkhand. We've got projects in Orissa. We'll hopefully have projects in Bihar. And there'll be more. So CSC will certainly grow beyond Calcutta, and aggressively so.
Oh, okay. That's actually very good news for the stakeholders. Well, just taking you back into your education days. When you graduated, at that time, that was a trend among most of the business houses that they would choose to complete their studies overseas. You prefer to stay here and work directly with the business house. Any particular thoughts? Why did you choose to do that?
It was more that events overtook me. When I was planning to go overseas was about the time my family got involved with a minority stake in Dunlop India. And to me that was a huge opportunity in terms of operations. And so for 4 years I operated that company. And I was very happy with that decision because it gave me practical experience. it gave me experience of dealing with people who are far more capable than me and much, much senior to me. It taught me to be a lot more humble. It taught me to respect others' views. And it taught me the fact that just because you own shares does not give you the right to make decisions. You have to be capable and competent to make decisions. And therefore domain and knowledge became paramount.
So Beyond's flow is very evident that you're an art lover. I mean, there's no denying that. But, you mentioned the painting of Mahatma Gandhi in your house quite a few times in the past. So you were just wondering what impact has he had on your thought process, like with growing up or now?
To be honest, not very much.
Mm-hmm.
The painting is very special because he posed for it himself, and it's historical.
Okay.
It's something we've, as you rightly said, we've grown up with. My grandfather was extremely influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, as was my father. But for us, he's an integral part of India's history. He's an integral part of our independence. But he is one amongst many influences. There have been many, many leaders who've inspired, and he's one of them. So I can't say that he holds a particularly special position for me.
So who's had the most, who's been the most influential figure in your life?
Frankly, my father.
Uh-huh.
I think he's been inspirational for me. He's been like a mentor. He's guided me, he's directed me, he's scolded me, he's pulled me up. He's been a teacher, he's been a father, he's been everything. And I think he is the single largest influence in my life.
So he's the one to whom you go when there are challenging times. There have been challenging times in the past.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, that's great. Earlier you had stated that your goal is to have close to over $10 billion market cap for the group as a whole. So where do you see that figure coming through?
I think the global recession set us behind by a bit. But I think in terms of operational performance, we are very much there. I think, and going forward, we are going to aggressively add capacity, add revenues, and add profits. And hopefully, increase multiples as well.
Oh, okay. So if you could just share your vision for the group and the individual companies within the group, how do you see them 5 years from now?
Frankly, our biggest growth will come from the power sector, where we have significant investments lined up. We hope to increase the capacity by about 5 times from where we are. We will grow, as I said, in Maharashtra, in Bengal, in Bihar, in Jharkhand, in Orissa. These are projects which have been identified. One which has got to financial close, one which is on the verge of getting to financial close, some which are at various stages of getting there. We will be looking at more distribution zones, and we have bid for Patna. Let's see what happens, what is the outcome of the bid. And we will be bidding for more franchises, which we believe are profitable. And we will also be looking at transmission projects. Yes, so power will become a very important play for us. And going forward, we are looking at an investment of anywhere between 16,000 to 20,000 crores in this space over the next 4 to 5 years.
So, within the group, I think power or CESC will be the largest driver of growth. Will that be correct to say?
Well, CSC is certainly growing very aggressively, as are other companies. I think CEAT is growing aggressively. Philips Carbon will be growing aggressively. KEC's order book is growing at a very handsome rate. So I think if you're looking at turnovers, maybe KEC will be outstripping CSC very shortly.
Really?
Yes, but in terms of capital expenditure, CSC will clearly be the largest.
Oh, okay. So, currently, balance sheets of almost all the companies are, I wouldn't say over-leveraged, But any plans to, dilute equity? Because it's been a while that you have come and diluted equity.
There are no immediate plans to dilute equity, and we are very clear. We would follow a very conservative approach on an debt equity situation, and at a group level, we stand at just below 1:1 debt equity, and I think that's pretty much the position we will maintain. And we will raise equity when we need it. We would not raise equity for the sake of raising equity.
Oh, true.
Coming back to your love part, what would you say is more challenging, valuing businesses or valuing art?
Well, the truth is I don't know the first thing about valuing art. My brother is the art lover. He's the ardent art lover in the family, and he's the one who spends a lot of time, and he has a lot of knowledge. I am like the reflected glory, the sun and the moon. He's the sun, I'm the moon. So.
Oh, that's really humble.
So talking about your brother, you both run very successful businesses, within nearby itself. So what is the secret of success? Like, how do you work as a team?
We communicate very strongly with each other, and we complement each other. I think we have a completely different skill-based set, and we have a completely different weakness set. Okay. So I think it works well because combined we become a lot better than we are individually.
So what is that one thing that you admire about him the most?
He's a details person, and he gets into a lot of detail. And I find that I'm unable to get into the 5th and 6th level of detail. And he is able to get into maybe the 7th level of detail. So it actually works as a very good combination.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that's actually the secret, yeah. You're actually in the board of IIT Kharagpur.
I was.
Oh, okay. So what was, while you were on the board of IIT Kharagpur, did you find any stark differences that would make the Indian education system much more robust than what it is now?
Oh, many. I was chairman of IIT Kharagpur for 6 years, and frankly, it was a great experience. But it also just sort of gave the feeling that there are such huge opportunities. You have one of the best technology and technical institutes in the world, and yet we don't encourage, as a nation, we don't encourage international students, we don't encourage international faculty, we don't encourage international thought. Would you imagine that IIT Kharagpur had a single entry system of accounting? They did not have an internal auditor. They had a discretionary quota for the chairman for 25 students, which I disbanded. And there was a huge resistance from the local MP, MLA, faculty, etc., saying that this discretionary quota cannot be disbanded. So I said, okay, I will not disband it, but as long as I am chairman, I will suspend it. And these places were auctioned. And so corruption existed. The systems were not there. And yet when you interacted with the children there, it was just unbelievable intellect and talent there. And we were not recruiting the best professors because we didn't pay well. We were bound by the government norms. And then if you don't pay well, and you're cited in Kharagpur, where social life is almost non-existent, then people don't want to come. And yet that's your premier institute of technology in the country. So it's a huge space, and it's actually inspired me to take a position in education. And CSC is actually opening a management institute within 2010 in Calcutta. And we will do more such ventures, because my brush with that actually gave me the feeling that there is a huge gap. And it's part of our CSR activities. Instead of going and encouraging a tribal to work with some weaving or something, which is also important, what we will do is we will actually build institutions which will have lasting legacies, which will be international in terms of quality and caliber. And you're available not only for one city, but you're available for the world.